Right, let's do this, shall we? So this is quite the strange time to be doing this video. A lot has happened over the past week or so in and around Blizzard and just the classic WoW community as a whole. I wanted to do a video about the state of the channel, how things have been going, and the plans moving forwards. Initially, I recorded this on the day before the lawsuit took place, but such a lot has happened since that point in time that I felt as though I needed to redo. So here we are. I'll try and do it in one take and just go through everything that I need to. I want to start off with a bit of lore about myself, how I kind of got into this. So I used to have a job at somewhere where I worked for my job, and there wasn't much to do during the day. There was just a lot of free time. This was in the run-up period to Classic, where I was super hyped about it, and in this free time I'd write videos, I'd put stuff together, I'd make class guides because I was so hyped for Classic WoW when it was about to release. I've always had some kind of interest on, I don't know, online stuff, YouTube, all of that, and if there was ever a time when I'd have a chance to try and do it, then this was going to be it. So I fully committed myself to going into that avenue and doing it to the best of my ability. The first video I ever put out was off the back of me having played old school RuneScape for a very long time, and I couldn't see anybody else that had done that type of video. And after that I put out various different things, but it wasn't until I tried the class guides where things changed. Initially I did the Paladin, not many views on that, the Mage, similar story, and I did the Hunter, and that is where things changed. Something happened, the YouTube algorithm gods picked me up and decided that it was going to be my time to shine. And the video absolutely exploded in growth, as did the channel. I think at one point I went up around 20,000 subscribers in about the space of a month and a half, which, as you could see from the current amount, is absolutely insane. I'd sit there at work, I'd refresh the page, I'd see more subs, more views, more likes coming in. It was truly unbelievable that this pipe dream, this seemingly impossible thing, could actually be happening for me. And I remember in the weeks running up to Classic, I'd put out each new class video, it'd do tremendously well. And I remember putting out a community post where I was apologizing for wanting to try running ads on the videos, which I hadn't been doing at all till that point in time, despite you only needing, I think it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 live hours watched, which sounds like a lot. It's not really that much. And I woke up in the morning one day to check it after the first day I'd been running ads, and I saw the amount and I was like, wow, maybe this is actually something I might be able to do. Maybe YouTube isn't such a dream after all. And so as Classic launched, having started a few months before on the channel, I went full time straight away. I did the right thing at the right time and the algorithm decided it liked me. Since then, I've continued to grow the channel. I've kept on with the content as Classic's gone through, and it's grown and grown to the point where I hit 100,000 subscribers about 2 months ago, which is an absolutely phenomenal feat. I never thought I would get to that thing. You always hear it from every single YouTuber who does this, but it happens for a reason. It's a lot of people, and you only can really feel amazed and thankful that you've gotten there. I've got the channel verified, I've got the silver play button on the way, which would be rather nice. They didn't send me a code for it, I had to go and ask them for one instead. But since it's hit that point and the channel's crossed that margin, and especially as we've gone from vanilla over into TBC, things have really started to frankly stagnate on the channel. It's not growing anymore at all. It feels like I'm treading water, and I haven't experienced this before. Even when I started the channel, I already knew there was going to be a point in time where Classic was likely to fall off, and I'd have the choice to either double down and hope the niche audience is enough where I can continue, or to branch out. And I've realized whatever I put out there in terms of videos, there are people that are gonna love it and there are people that are gonna fucking hate it, because that is the nature of doing things online. All I can ever do is put out things which I think are entertaining and engaging, because that's what keeps me going. YouTubers, streamers, anyone in the content sphere online, really, what they're putting out always shines when they really love what they're doing. And I enjoyed my time throughout Classic, and moving into TBC, I do still enjoy elements of it. With the retail version of the game, I never had too much interest in creating content around that. Had Classic not existed, I just wouldn't have started a channel whatsoever around this subject. But the more things you try and put out on Classic, the more apparent it becomes that it's difficult to put content out for a game which is entirely solved. If you look at practically any other game ever, it's always in a position where it's moving forwards and new things are added. so the people who are making content around it can guide you as to what the changes are, what's seen as good and bad, what the new updates will be, all these different things. But for Classic, everything that happens moving forwards is absolutely no secret. We have zero class balancing. We know what the mechanics of every single raid will be, as for roughly how difficult they'll be. We'll know which bosses drop legendaries. We know which items are coming out in later phases. All the arena teams are already known in advance what will be the best. It's all just solved. We know what's coming. And I understand people like videos for the entertainment value and just to have things in that kind of format to watch with your morning coffee, with your dinner, whatever it may be, but it can be difficult to find enough things which I think warrant a video and that I should be putting out for you guys and that you would find entertaining. I look back to some of the stuff in Classic and some of them are just really shit, really bottom of the barrel stuff. And even as when I was putting them out back then, I thought these are crappy videos. I should be doing better than this. And I have tried to branch out to other areas of World of Warcraft during the time in Classic, such as the expansion reviews, which I can hope you tell I put a lot of work into those, even though the voice quality on some of them was absolutely abysmal. The class guides, again, I can hope you tell I really love doing those because I can put so much more time and effort into them. But in between that, I often feel like I'm putting out filler and nobody wants to watch filler. On top of this, we have a player base which, the majority online at least, actively really dislike the developer, Blizzard, or Activision Blizzard, I should say. They can't wait to get to the end of it. People can't wait to get to Wrath of the Lich King and have made their peace with Classic and say, okay, I'm done with this game now. The negativity is overbearing. There are a lot of bad actors, there are a lot of serial complainers who are in every single video about World of Warcraft ever telling you that you should quit and how bad it's gotten. They're on the forums, they're on the videos that Blizzard puts out. It's just absolutely pervasive throughout everything they do. And I'm not going to apologize for that because Blizzard deserve it. They honestly warrant this. Not any individual within the company, but just the way they've treated the people who play their games over the years and how they've constantly failed to listen to feedback, constantly said, no, this is our vision, you will like our vision, and their vision is shit. And in Classic, leaving things in the game which were either easy to anticipate or just broken beyond belief and easily a visible issue like the bot, which again, other people have been doing content on. I barely have the energy to say, look, this is bad again and again and again. It just feels like I'm repeating myself endlessly and it's bad content. Blizzard have had the lawsuit put against them recently, which shows issues dating back to over a decade within the company and those being seen as normal. We've had people who have been founders of the game quietly leaving or now having these allegations placed against them. It feels like just another thing on top of the never-ending bad PR, poor decision making that we just see again and again and again from Blizzard. It's like I expect nothing, but I'm still disappointed. But regarding the content in TBC, I can say for the time being at least that I'm still enjoying raiding on it. In fact, I raid on 2 separate characters there. TBC, after you've got the initial content out of the way, you have your badge gear, you have your crafted, you've got the consumables banked, you've got your flying, you have the Harris Pilton Gigantique bags. There's not much to do. TBC is raid log, the expansion, and that isn't going to go away with new tiers opening up either. Interest in TBC has fallen off very quickly since it initially launched, and players worldwide are looking outside of Blizzard and seeing there are a lot more cool titles out there which are worthy of their time. And as somebody who's roughly in the MMO sphere at the moment but sticks themselves to the niche of just Classic, it's such an exciting period of time to be in the position where I'm at. We have Riot Games who are working on an MMO headed up by Greg Street, Ghostcrawler. We have Final Fantasy's explosive growth at the moment. We have Ashes of Creation, which is a long time off and in alpha, but again promising something very different to what we know to be an MMORPG these days. We have the New World Beta, which is looking very interesting and is due to launch at the end of next month. I am in no way surprised that players are choosing now more so than ever to take a look around and see what else there is, and that there is more to MMOs than Blizzard. That the idea that people have only been sticking to game because of the sunk time fallacy, or that, yeah, it sucks, but there's nothing else better, has not been true for a long time, potentially. Going to be a lot of free time in TBC, and that's not a bad thing. It's a game at the end of the day. You should have fun with it, not feel as though you are required to log in daily to make sure you're getting your daily fun. And as players have started to divide up and look at new things, in my spare time, I have been doing that as well. I've been playing a lot less WoW since TBC has come out. Mind you, I've always flip-flopped between several other games in my free time, so this isn't anything too unusual for me. I suppose what I'm trying to say is on the channel, the classic content isn't gonna disappear, but I want to make sure that I'm focusing on the best content or the most interesting things, rather than feeling as though I need to fill the gaps with stuff which just isn't very good, because that's how YouTube and the algorithm encourages you to make videos to make sure that your channel is consistently growing. I want to bring the videos back to more light-hearted stuff and more entertainment, rather than things born out of frustration or being critical in every single video that I make and it having some kind of reverse effect on me about making me less enthusiastic about being able to write videos, about being able to edit stuff, and about what I do in general, when I started off doing this job purely out of passion for the game. And what I'd like to do with the channel most is branch out from just classic World of Warcraft to MMO content on a larger scale, doing general critiques of the genre, which aren't just purposefully always tailored to classic, doing first impressions on a number of different games, doing news about upcoming titles, or revisiting old MMOs in general. Particularly at the moment, likes of Final Fantasy XIV, New World, and eventually Ashes of Creation are a particular interest to me, but honestly, I'd like to be able to put out things around anything which catches my interest enough and be able to continue the channel like that. I don't want to alienate people of sub for WoW, and there is content which I still want to make around the game, particularly the Wrath of the Lich King class series, but as you can imagine, that shouldn't be coming for some time, assuming Wrath of the Lich King will be a thing, of course. But if I even just look at my videos recently, the Final Fantasy one I did has been one of the most successful ones, and honestly, I had a really good time looking into something new where I am clueless and I'm going in as the new guy. It's very enjoyable to do. The thing is though, I could just ride out classic for what it is, okay? I could continue making videos for TBC, I could make videos for Wrath of the Lich King, but as I did when the channel first took off at the start of classic and I committed to it then for that, I want to recommit to it now and make sure that it stays around and that it's not going to just fade out over time. As mentioned earlier, it's such an exciting time to be talking about MMOs now. There's so much new that's happening that's worth talking about. I feel as though in my niche, I've really lacked the ability to break out and explore different avenues of things that could be entertaining or informative for you guys. There just aren't many classic content creators left these days for reasons that I've gone over. Mad Season Shows recently decided that World of Warcraft has come to an end for him, which is something I would have never really expected. He's been about forever, 3 times as long as I have. I believe he has one more WoW related video coming out, and I've had the opportunity to speak to him several times, and he's one of those people who just can't seem to dislike. I know this is the biggest risk you can do with a channel, trying to branch out from what made you successful. Reddit has foreseen it. I've seen comments on Mad Season's video saying much of the same, but sticking with classic in the long run would be going down with the ship. This is the dream job for me, what I'm doing now. I fucking love doing YouTube. It is absolutely amazing. But in order to continue growing the channel, things need to change, both in content-wise and allowing me to do different things creatively. It's not going to happen overnight. The World of Warcraft content isn't just going to instantaneously vanish for me, but it's definitely going to be reduced compared to what it's been so far. And I've always been bad at saying this, but thank you for sticking with the channel. It's so easy to get bogged down in negatives, especially with Blizzard and Classic, but positive comments, even just one of them, can really make your day and make you know that what you're doing can make a difference. It's worth continuing to do and that it's worth the effort. Everyone that's given me a chance, who's allowed me to be part of your classic journey, to anyone who's supported me from the time when it sounded like I was recording in another room with my stretched screen resolution, to everybody who's watched so far, thank you. I just want to get this all out here on one video and just let you guys know what's going on with the channel and how I'm feeling in light of everything that's been happening recently. I hope you give the new stuff I do a go, because I truly love what I do and I think I can show that better than I have been doing in a long time, only trying to do classic. So guys, let me know your thoughts on it. I know if you made it to the end, good job. I think that's about everything I've got to say, so I'll see you guys in the next one very soon.